Hey guys, Kate here with Hello Skelo, and I have my friend Elissa on today. And if you haven't noticed, we are wearing the Elissa sweater. And I dedicated this to Elissa because I knew I was going to have her on. And I just felt like, honestly, it was your vibe.
I'm obsessed with it.
Okay.
Like, I literally have worn it the past 3 days since I got it.
It's definitely her vibe then.
Yeah.
So before we get into it, I just wanted to highlight, so Hello Skelo's mission is to bring light, hope, and transparency around all taboo subjects. Today we're going to be talking about addiction and alcoholism specifically, probably a little bit of drugs as well. But I just wanted to remind you guys that a portion of all of your purchases go towards scholarships for men and women who just need that extra help that might be struggling to get that. So, hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much again.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I feel like this is, we're already like so cozy in our seats.
I know.
It's going to be a good one.
I'm literally obsessed with this sweater. Like, when I received it, I was like, this is so much better than I expected. I mean, like, I expected a great sweater,
right.
But I just didn't, like, I love it.
I know, and the fur, right?
Yeah, and I wore it yesterday to work and to get my eyelashes done. And everywhere I went, I got compliments on it.
Really?
Everywhere I went.
Like, maybe I should just give you the cards.
No, you really should, honestly.
Okay,
Especially at work, because there was like 3 girls that were like, where do I get this? And I was like, I'll show you right now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we get a cheers to that?
Yeah, cheers, exactly. And at the eyelash salon, too, 2 people. I was like, oh my God, like, because it's like unique.
Yeah.
It's not like you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it's unique and it's super cute. Yeah, I love it.
And I just felt, too, because Elissa is, if you could not tell, just very like vivacious and frankly just full of love and happiness.
Thank you.
So when I got this one, I was like, this needs to be the Elissa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people think I'm like pretty bubbly as a person. Like, just my personality is like
100%.
a bubbly. But it's so funny because I'm still an introvert.
Yeah, and were you always bubbly like when you were in your
Oh my God,
addiction?
no.
Okay.
Well, even when I first got to Long Beach and started meeting people around here, I was so quiet. Because you were one of the first people I met.
I remember.
Yeah, I was super quiet.
Oh, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and now people are like, oh my God, you were the most outgoing person ever. Like, the eyelash lady was like yesterday, she's like, I normally don't talk to my clients because like it's, I just like, I don't want you to think I'm standoffish.
Right.
She talked to me the whole time. She's like, you're just really easy to talk to. And I'm like, you don't understand, when I was drinking, drunk, or like using, I was horrible. I didn't talk to anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your DOC? Like, what's your thing?
So,
what was your thing?
My thing was Adderall. Okay. Really. I mean, drinking for sure, definitely. Like, that's what took over. And that's pretty much the basis. Like, I started with drinking,
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, and I went to a really good high school, and I grew up with a good family, and I was drinking only on the weekends.
Yeah.
And it was pretty standard, and I thought everyone else was drinking like I was, but I was getting blacked out every single weekend.
I
thought, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that getting blacked out every single weekend was like normal?
I thought it was normal.
What everyone else did?
Yeah, I thought everyone else was doing it.
I
Not the
that
case.
Too at the beginning.
Yeah.
At the beginning, and then when I realized that people were like, we
are
really
you
want
okay?
you to come anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That I was like, wait, you guys don't drink to black out either?
Yeah. And actually, as you say that, it reminds me of like Sweet 16s, which is very early, right? 16 years old. I was 15 probably.
Most people hadn't even started.
Exactly. And my friends, my peers, who I thought were drinking like I was drinking, sat me down and were like, we can't have you go to the Sweet 16 with us if you are drinking, so you can't drink. You can only smoke weed at the Sweet 16. And I was
your friends?
My friends, like not even my family, like not like adults, not like school, like my peers, like my legit like people that I thought were drinking like I was. So and like at the time I thought they were absolutely out of their minds and like so selfish.
They
were bullying me. Yeah, I thought for sure they were bullying me.
Victim 101.
So crazy. Like, I mean, just always the victim, like the perpetual victim. But yeah, like I thought for sure that they were bullying me.
So your drinking continued on. Did your parents, did your family, did anybody else say anything?
Yes. So my uncle and my maternal grandfather are both one of my grandfathers now passed away, but he was an alcoholic and he was sober for like 30 years.
Okay.
And he just stayed sober on his own.
Got it.
but my uncle was sober for a little while, went back out for a few years. He's now sober again.
Okay.
So it was a, like, in my family a little bit, but not my parents, not my sister. So not like
your internal family.
Yeah.
Unit. Okay.
Yeah. So my mom had an idea. She tells me now that she has known since I went through puberty that I was an alcoholic. She said she knew forever, like my whole life.
But you probably just didn't want to say anything because then it would have been real.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, because maybe, there's probably a denial piece to it too, but even when she was ready to, like, I wasn't going to be ready to hear it.
And she knew that.
And she knew that, yeah. So.
And was it her brother?
Yeah, her brother and her dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, she said she just knew. But, so she brought it to my attention in high school at one point too, and I went to an outpatient, and they told me, you have to change everything about your life. You have to change who you hang out with. You have to change where you go, and all these. And I said no. I was
like, overwhelmed.
I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that.
And were you like 16, 17?
I was like 17, and it was funny because I was in one room, and my mom was in another room with like the parents, right? And I was with the kids. It was like for under 18,
like adolescent.
And we were at the same place, and we were two different rooms, and they were telling us this at the same time, like two different counselors.
Mm-hmm.
And when they told me that, I walked out of the room, went to the adult room, said, Mom, we're leaving. And she looked at them and she said, I told you. She literally said, my daughter's never going to do that. She goes, and I was really like, I still am like pretty headstrong. Like I don't, like I mean, now I think of it as stubborn, and I don't really think of it as an asset in a lot of ways, but like, I am like that, like very stubborn. So I literally, she goes to them, they're telling us at the same time, and she goes, my daughter's never going to do that.
And here you come walking.
And I came walking out, knocking on the door, I was like, Mom, we're going. So I'm not doing this program. Yeah. And that was it. And then she, I don't know, she just kind of let it unfold. I went to college, and it got like so much worse in college, obviously.
Yep.
And then
Did you go far away, or was
no? I went to New York City. I lived in New Jersey, so
okay.
Yeah, so I was pretty close.
Did you live at home, or did you live in?
No, I lived on campus.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived on campus.
So she couldn't really see the progression, so to speak.
Right. No, she couldn't. I mean, she knew because I was spending a lot more like all of her like money and stuff, and then she like would take that away, so she thought like that was kind of gonna help me. At first I had like unlimited credit card because like she didn't really care about like me spending money until she saw that maybe this is contributing to making me worse.
Until you were spending all your money on Adderall.
Exactly. Yeah, and like buying everyone drinks at the bar.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So then she took that away. So she took that away. So I had that privilege taken away. And then I eventually I went to grad school, and it just got worse and worse and worse.
And during this time, did you? Like, were you in a lot of pain? Were you like,
so much pain?
Were you like, what's going on with me? Did you have those cognitive thoughts?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. But like when you woke up super hungover and like didn't know where you were, you're like, this is a problem. But then as soon as you feel better? No, not even?
Not even yet. Not even, when I was in college, not even yet.
It just wasn't,
it wasn't
even a thing that you could even have a problem.
I legit thought that people drink like that. And I think I surrounded myself with the heavier drinkers.
Yeah.
So...
Which is so normal. I did the same thing. But then when the heavier drinkers stop inviting you,
yes,
I'm like, ugh.
Yes.
And I would just burn those bridges.
Oh,
like
yeah.
People in college, who were heavy drinkers, but they were not alcoholics.
Right. Yeah. There's a difference.
I would drink before, like as I was getting ready in the shower, like have a bottle of champagne or like a couple shots before I'd even go to the pregame.
Right.
So then all of a sudden we're at the party and I'm
pregame.
I'm blacked out.
Yeah.
And they're like, why do we invite her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And I was pretty like, I stayed with people that were still like drinking like.
So you didn't stand out?
No.
Right.
And then the people that were normal.
Where did you go to grad school?
Same school, Wagner College.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The people that were normal that were drinking that like didn't really drink that were not at all abnormal drinkers, I just didn't hang out with them, and I thought they were weird.
Right.
I was like, you guys are boring.
You guys are like studying and getting good grades.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was still getting good grades though, so it was.
So you were total functioning. See, I didn't get good grades.
It was awful. It made it so much harder to get sober.
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
It's easier when you're seeing outward stuff, like your grades going down. Or
Oh, yeah.
I had to wait till my health was deteriorating,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Just because I kind of knew something was going on.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it was easy.
Right.
Like 10 rehabs later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually 9. But okay, so tell me, you graduated college. Did you go home? Like, what was your next move? Did you start?
I went to grad school.
Okay.
So I went to grad school and I stayed. I still lived in Staten Island, but I just like moved off of boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I had a boyfriend for the first year of grad school. I lived at his parents' house because he lived right next to my school, and
convenient.
Yeah, and then the next year I did like I had an apartment, but it was just those 2 years were awful.
Yeah.
I mean those 2 years. So my last year of undergrad and in the 2 years of grad school, I knew that something was wrong. And I knew I needed to get help. And I knew that I was like, I thought I was going to die a couple times. You know, like there was a couple times where I went to bed at night and I was like, couldn't like catch my breath because I was like on so many, because I was on so many different types of substances, like on like, you know, opiates and Xanax and Adderall and like alcohol, like all at once, that like I probably was having some kind of like overdose.
Right.
You know? And I knew that, you know, like, and also then even the friends that I drank heavily with, they started cutting me off too.
Right.
So that's when I knew.
Yeah, because then you're like isolated and alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happened? So did you graduate grad school?
I did, yeah.
Wow, I'm
so
impressed.
I finished grad school, but the end of grad school was like, everyone knew the jig was up. My mom knew, my therapist knew, we all knew that I was an addict, right? And that it wasn't like, because I was trying to attribute it to a bunch of other things, like lupus. I thought I had lupus. That's why my skin was having, lupus, like any kind of autoimmune disease, right?
That was you.
Oh, yeah. And which I see now in other addicts, like active addicts, like it is so common for people to think that they have autoimmune diseases when
their addiction's killing them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so after that one was ruled out, I said schizophrenia. I was schizophrenic. I would have rather, literally, the insanity.
I was just gonna say.
Isn't that insane?
You would have rather have been schizophrenic than
an addict.
An addict.
Yeah. Like subconsciously.
Right. When it's so crazy, because we both know, like, there's solutions for alcoholism, addiction, for eating disorders.
So much harder to treat. I mean,
so much harder.
I mean, that's.
But it just shows, like, how deep and dark the disease is.
Yeah.
It will literally tell you anything else
is
besides
better
because it wants to kill you.
I know, it's crazy.
I know,
like it blows my mind.
Okay, so did you roll that one out and then
I rolled that one out, and I actually didn't. I called my therapist and I said I'm schizophrenic because I am having schizophrenic episodes, you know.
Right, and you very well could have been having these like breakdowns, but it's because your body was on so many different
substances. Yeah, especially Adderall. That was the big one at this point.
Yeah.
Which is like meth, pretty much, you know. I never actually ended up doing meth or heroin or any hard street drugs because then it would be too clear to me that I was a drug addict.
Yeah, so you stayed
clear. The pills, I stayed all the pills.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but then she contacted my psychiatrist who was like, I'm still giving her Adderall prescription, and the jig was up. So my last semester of graduate school, it was my mom's dispensing me my Adderall so that I can still take it without like having to go cold turkey.
Right.
But also, I mean, then I was buying more, you know, but also so I can finish grad school, right? Because she wanted me to finish. Mm-hmm. So it was awful. It was terrible. It was miserable. I had a boyfriend that I started dating at the beginning of that year, and I told him at the beginning of that year, I was like, listen, I am very sick. Like, I had to get a lot of help, and I don't recommend dating you right now. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'm dating, like, and I should have known then that he was unhealthy because, like, he wanted to date me regardless of what I wasn't trying to be cute.
Right.
I was like, I need to get a lot of help after this year.
You were actually trying to like tell him the truth.
Yeah.
And he was like, ooh, someone's sick, let me attach myself to her.
Yes, exactly.
Yikes.
And then you would try all the sick people. Yeah, exactly. So then I went to treatment after that.
Okay.
So then I went to Sierra Tucson.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many treatments have you gone to?
So, okay, I went to so I did an outpatient, like a little bit of it, in New Jersey in high school. Wouldn't really count that. I did a little bit of an outpatient before I went to inpatient after grad school, and then I went to Sierra Tucson, and then I went to NFL twice.
Got it.
the past 2 times. So, but I've also
Me
been,
too.
yeah, so 3, I say 4.
Yeah.
I mean, but I also have been, I've been 5150 before, and I've been in the psych ward like twice.
I'm so glad that you said that.
Yeah.
Because people have this persona of like addicts and alcoholics that would not be you or me or just in our everyday lives where we're at right now.
Oh, yeah.
I've had people, not like when I'm talking about it, but when I'm at like an acquaintance, like a birthday party for somebody I don't really know.
Right.
Start talking about like, oh, you know, that would suck if you were an alcoholic and you couldn't
Right.
drink. Like, those people are weird. And there I am, like, at the other side of the bar, like, drinking my, you know, tonic water, being like, people are so clueless. And that's honestly why I wanted to start this, too, because breaking that stigma that you don't necessarily have to be the person that comes from, like, tragedy.
Right.
Or a bad family. I mean,
Yes.
absolutely there are those, but there is no there's no box
There's
for
no
being
discrimination
for having this specific disease.
Exactly.
It doesn't care who you are.
It doesn't care, at all.
But I think what matters, and I asked you about how many like treatment centers you go to, because it didn't matter how many I had gone to until I was ready to say, I need help.
Yeah.
And then I was able to get better.
Yeah. No, me too.
Was that the same for you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even when I was like, there were so many layers to my surrendering that, like, even when I gave up.
Sometimes you thought that you were surrendering, but you
And
still were holding on to things.
Honestly, I'm still afraid that I have. I'm like, because I feel like I have, but like I felt like I had before. You know.
That's that fear. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and it's good though, because then I keep doing the work now.
Yep.
But like, I didn't have like that. I didn't have that fear. I just thought I did. You know, like when I first went to NFL in Long Beach. I went to Sarah Tucson. I did not think I was not ready. There was no way I was ready. I thought I would put down the pills and just drink.
Okay.
Like a normal person.
Right.
Did not work out that way at all.
Yeah. So it was like a 50. You were like, you were negotiating.
I was negotiating.
I will give you the pills, but I'm going to continue to drink and I'm going to be fine.
Exactly. Yes. And I did that for a few years. And it was also terrible and ended up being very lonely. I got kicked out of I think I lived in 7 different places in LA. Because I got either kicked out or so embarrassed that I had to leave, just or just and so so then I went to NFL the first time, and I thought I was surrendering, but I was kind of just slowly giving it up. You know, I was still reminiscing about drinking, you know. I was still romanticizing it. It was still oh my god, I wish so bad that I can be that person that's drinking on their porch, you know. I don't have those thoughts today.
That's awesome.
I am so happy for you and your wine, but I don't even want to go near it.
Because you know for yourself
it is so different.
If you did, it would be just all that pain. That's why I love having these two, because I remember all of the pain, and it's not for me, it's not glamorous. If I were to pick
at
up,
all.
It might be the first time.
Yeah.
It might be the second time. Who knows? It might be for a year.
Right.
But then, I mean, ultimately, it would just be me giving up my family, everything up on a silver platter, because eventually, it would just take me down.
Everything. I know, and it happens fast for me now. Every time I relapse, it happens faster. And
faster and faster.
Yeah, so I don't look at that person drinking their wine and think that's what it's gonna look like for me, because it's just not.
It's not.
But I don't have that I don't have that I tried so hard to make that real for me. I was I can make that real. I can make that real.
And do you think that, I mean, not that everyone needs to relapse, but with mine, because I have relapsed in my story as well. I don't think everyone I don't not think not everyone has to. Yeah. But I did. So as soon as you accept that, I feel like you're able to not continue doing that.
Yeah.
And then you find all of the lessons, what did I learn from that? What did I, and just like you said, I so relate to that. Every single time that I did relapse, I tried to prove to myself, to others, that I could be that one cute girl that, could have some wine, and then the next day I'm not going to work, and I'm losing my job, and I'm getting kicked out of my apartment in a month, because now I've stayed home every day, and I'm having that one glass of wine turned into 3 bottles a day.
Yep. And so quickly.
So not cute.
No, not cute
but
at all.
But now, today, okay, so you're obviously, living life.
Yeah.
You just seem so happy and, vivacious.
Thanks.
So where is your life at today? Tell us a little bit about
So, I'm a scientist, so I work in a lab as
I love
a
that.
cell therapy specialist. And I love my job. And I've been really, really lucky not to completely ruin my career.
Mm-hmm.
But it was going that way, and there was like, oh my God. I mean, when I worked at Cedars-Sinai, I don't know how. I had to sign this agreement one time that I wouldn't drink at any more work events because I got so drunk, and so like it was going that way, you know. And I think,
Right.
and even with my job after that, it was going that way too. And this job that I have had now, like I'm so lucky that they never had to see me.
You've been sober at this job the whole time?
Well, I have had relapses, but they have been like. So I've been sober for 9 months now.
Okay.
And I've been there for a year and a half.
Okay.
But I have had a couple relapses, but they've always been like one night. So, and I come back and try to get help the next day.
Right, and then but it's never like you've never been at your
pulled
job.
out of work. Yes.
Got it.
So I am so grateful. And like,
Good.
if I didn't wake up the next morning and ask for help after each relapse that I had last year, I would have
lost that.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, they fire people like crazy, and I don't know if I should say that here, but they just like they just don't have any tolerance, which is it's a good environment. I love working there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so grateful, and I feel like I'm very appreciated there, and I love it. But I only have it because I'm sober. Like there's just no way.
Yep.
So I'm grateful that I do have my career still.
And is your college and grad, is it for being a scientist?
Yeah. So I have my bachelor's was in biology,
Okay.
biopsychology, and chemistry, and then my master's was in microbiology.
I'm so impressed that you first of all finished college, then went on to your master's, all while.
I know. I'm so grateful. Like, I mean, I love school. I've always loved school. It was a big outlet for me to escape to, though, so that's why it's kind of like, but I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I just love science. I love learning. Like, I listen to podcasts. I watch documentaries. Like, that's just what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just like learning. Like, right now, I'm like loving to learn about the presidents because I don't know anything about history.
Right.
But yeah, so I got really lucky with that. But besides work, I have like a relationship with my mom, which like my mom fought all the time growing up.
Oh,
Like
the
we
best.
like I got to see this disease from like a lot of different angles
Mm-hmm.
because I have a boyfriend that's in the program, and he's had struggles the past year too and has relapsed, and I got to see like what it's like for my mom to like try like the
When you
pain that
love-
she felt
When you love someone, but you literally cannot do anything.
powerless.
And the only thing that you can do is actually step away.
exactly it's to set boundaries, which is like
Do you
the
think-
worst thing.
Do you think that actually, I know, do you think that helped you with your sobriety?
Yeah.
Being able to be on the other end where your mom has been your whole life, pretty
Definitely.
much?
Yeah, I mean, I totally think so.
Mhm.
I also think it just I've always been the addict, never like the
Healthy one?
yeah, or the like family member or
Mhm.
anything like that. So it was so hard. I feel so like I feel really bad that I don't have to go through that, but I also get to like have a stronger relationship with
You
her
get
now.
to show up today.
Yeah.
And
And my father and my sister, you know,
Yes,
like they all had to
everyone.
see it constantly. Like they had to see me destroy my life so many times without being able to do anything.
Yeah.
Like they knew that I had this potential to live an amazing,
yeah,
loving, like full life.
which probably contributed to the more pain because they knew that you.
Exactly.
They were like, she's so smart. She's just. That was what my dad said too. He's like, man, he's like the pain. Because you, as a child, you were just
Right?
straight A's,
Yeah.
athletic, and then you started drinking, and it was like,
Yep.
They called me Sybil. That was my nickname. That was my nickname all in high school because they didn't know which personality would come out. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Now it's funny, but
Yeah.
it wasn't then. And now, today, I mean, they're the most grateful for my sobriety too because
Yeah.
it brought their daughter back, but it made me a better person.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so grateful to be like have alcoholism because the coping skills that like you were just talking
too.
about and that we get to like we're shown, people don't, that's not something, they're not constantly working on themselves.
Right.
You know, and we are.
Yeah.
And it's not because like we're necessarily different, although we are a little bit.
Right.
But all of just the tools and like having gratitude and being able to like have the cognizance to be like, I need to shift my perspective because
Right.
how I'm acting is not cool.
Empathy.
Yeah.
Like I would have never I didn't even know I'd ever had that side of the empathy with, you know,
anything in your life.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't care. I was so apathetic my whole life. Like, I didn't care about anything or anyone. Except for myself. I cared for myself about what I wanted and what I needed at that moment. But like, I now can like, it's not, honestly, I think like the best part of what sobriety is giving me is like, I was just outside walking and I dropped the little coffee holder thing. And like normally in the past, like if I didn't get sober, I think I would have just left it on the ground. I had to pick it up. I like when I was at work, like I help with the trash sometimes just because like that's just, those are things I would never ever do.
So when you go to Target, you put your cart back.
Yes, I put my cart back.
I do too.
Every time I go anywhere, I put my cart back. Yeah.
Somebody said that.
I would never do that. I never did that normally.
Me either. Oh, I would leave it like, I would be that person that like, if I was parked here and there was a car here, I would like leave it next to their door.
Me too.
Because I couldn't even, I'm like, I don't really care.
Me
know?
too.
But now, if it's 2 miles down the road, I'm going to be like, gosh darn it, I have
I'll walk there.
I almost have my drink.
I know. Like, I just thought of that as I walked in. I was like, I just dropped this little, like, holder, and I did not want to pick it up because I had, like, 5 things in my hand.
But
and
I thought, just do it.
I had to do it. I had to do it. Like,
those are the small things that are actually the biggest signs of growth.
They're so, it's so nice.
I know.
It makes me so happy. Like,
I love that you said that because now my day, like, having this conversation with you, and I say this to them every time, like, I'm a little selfish because every Saturday I look forward to this because I get to have conversations with like my people.
Yeah.
And we get to share with the world and kind of just like chip away at the stigma of like, wait, she's.
Yeah.
And it's like, yep, we are. And we are lovers of life. We can just like, we can deal with hard stuff.
Yeah.
Not that like, I don't want to all the time.
Right.
But we do.
Yeah. I know.
And we'll get through anything.
I know. And I like really, I like talking about it. Like, and I like telling people that I'm sober. I don't have a problem with it. Like, I like that because I've had people come up to me that wouldn't have known otherwise if I didn't like post something on Instagram or whatever, or I did a podcast with my friend Kyle, and they wouldn't have contacted me if they didn't know. And I just know that when I was in my denial and my disease and it was really bad, I didn't think anyone besides the homeless person on the street was an alcoholic. I didn't think anyone else was. So like,
same.
I mean, and people would tell me, you know, like, oh, this celebrity and that celebrity, and I'm like, oh, those are just rare cases, you know. Meanwhile,
because the culture and like this is like society, it's not normal for people to come out and be like, yes, I'm sober. I've been sober for 30 years.
Right.
Like I had a problem and it just. Everything tells you that it's embarrassing to come out or say that you had an issue.
Struggles. Yeah.
And now I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like me being open and honest about it has actually brought, like, opportunities in areas where I get to connect with people that I wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, the purest sense of joy in my life.
And it makes it more real for me, too. Like, it's a reminder for me. Because I like, it's sobriety is very precarious. For me,
very good description
and
for that.
Yeah, and so I have to like every single day remind myself because I will wake up and forget.
Like it's almost because you can't touch, see, or feel it.
Right.
And you remember it, but the further you get away from the last drink, it's harder to remember the pain.
Yeah, I mean, I would forget last year before I got these 9 months, like I would relapse every single month. By the end of that month, I just did not remember what that pain was like, and I was in so much pain that night. You know what I mean? And it just didn't matter.
Yep.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I just love it. I really do. Like I'm very, very. I am
just
grateful.
love it.
I know.
That is a very good segue, by the way.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is amazing. I'm like so happy we did this.
Me too.
Yeah.
I honestly I feel like I am.
I feel seriously meeting.
100%. I'm in like the best mood.
Right.
Like today's gonna be a great day.
I know.
Okay guys, so make sure you check out the YouTube. They're all the same. So it's at Hello Skelo for YouTube, for Instagram. Check out her interview. It's going to be posted this coming week. And every single week we'll have somebody new with different problems that we found different solutions to. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Kate.
You're welcome.